Good evening, all, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Shasheeena Rolle. As always, it's so great to have you with us. Topping news, Grand Bahama playing host to yet another foreign diplomat as the government moves to revive and strengthen alliances with a key Caribbean country. Joan Davis-Rolle fills us in.
The courtesy call on the Minister of Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, by the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, His Excellency Ernesto Guzman, was historic. It marked the Cuban diplomat's first official visit to Grand Bahama.
During your visit, Ambassador, you would have the opportunity to see firsthand the existing infrastructure on the island and to tour our industrial sector and see our deepwater harbor, which is the largest man-made harbor in the region. A few weeks ago, the Minister for the Environment and the Minister of State for Legal Affairs was guests in your country and were involved in high-level talks concerning oil exploration, security, and trade. It is my understanding that the official visit was successful and very encouraging. Today, Ambassador, I am certain that our meeting and your visit to Grand Bahama will certainly give you a deeper appreciation for the people of Grand Bahama and certainly deepen the diplomatic and cultural relations between our two countries.
Minister Darville outlined how the Bahamas for years has had some linkages with Cuba.
As a family physician, I have visited many medical facilities in Havana and have referred many patients to Havana for specialist care. Cuba is truly a fascinating place, and I love the cultural fusion of both the old and the new. Today I look forward for our discussions on healthcare, education, agriculture, trade, and cultural exchange.
Ambassador Guzman expresses excitement about being on Grand Bahama and the potential that lies between both countries.
I was telling the permanent secretary that I cannot understand how having this that you have in the Grand Bahama, people is moving to Nassau. You know, it's a very nice place. It's a lovely place, and we come here today in order to speak and to exchange with the Bahamian Authority and with Your Excellency about the possibility to estrange and diversify the relations between Cuba and the Bahamas, and especially between Cuba and the Grand Bahamas. We think that we have a lot of opportunities, like you said, in the agricultural field, health, education, and other areas, trade.
Joan Davis-Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Cuban ambassador was the guest speaker at a luncheon meeting hosted by the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, focusing on business opportunities between Cuba and the Bahamas. Ambassador Guzman says Cuba has strong trading partners with over 3,000 international companies in 170 countries. Since the Bahamas is Cuba's nearest neighbor in the Caribbean, he's looking forward to a good working relationship.
I think that we have a lot of potentials in terms of business opportunities between Cuba and the Bahamas, and specifically between Cuba and the Grand Bahamas. So the idea today is to give you some information and to try to promote the business and investment opportunities to date in Cuba. And I hope that in the future we will estrange the relation between both countries. We are the nearest neighbors in the Caribbean, and in the past it used to be a back and forth trade between both countries, especially between the Cuba and the South Islands of the Bahamas.
In other news, members of the managerial union at the Grand Bahama Power Company taking their fight for improved relations to the doorsteps of the power company today. It is the second public demonstration within the past week. Megan Shepard has this story.
Members of the BIMSU took the petition for answers outside the offices of the Grand Bahama Power Company. On Monday afternoon, the union members are protesting what they call unfair treatment and legal juggling by the company. President Pedro Edwards says the workers are simply looking for just treatment.
We have a problem with is the behavior of this employer towards the employees in BIMSU, and to properly sit down and treat and negotiate with them into a fair settlement, because that's what they want. We know that's what they want. I mean, we're cutting through the chase. You know, they fired 2 employees with a bachelor's in electrical and mechanical engineering for nothing. And they got people from Canada riding all around here and Ford Explorer and say they're doing commissioning work on commissioning what? The power company been here for about 40 years. Okay? All of the systems that are in there were designed by myself and the other engineers in this company. They're here commissioning now. Just because they bought it, they're going to do what they want. That's fine. But what you should do, Sarah McDonald and Christopher Haskell and Albert Miller and Robert Adams, is sit down and pay the people off based on what they earned. They have an earned right and an earned value.
Edwards says that more dialogue between the union and Grand Bahama Power is needed. He notes that since their last press conference with members of the media, there has been some negative side effects.
Since then, there has been, an effort to selectively, discriminate against certain employees, which we know that is coming from the mindset that they don't want to perhaps go through another big downsizing exercise, but what they would like to do is frustrate and intimidate some people out of their work. I know there was been people who have resigned from the company since then.
Edwards says he believes that this fight should not rest entirely on the shoulders of the union. He is once again calling on the government to step in and take a stand for the employees.
We've had communications with the Minister of Labor. His office has tried to see if they can work on about 8 or 10 of those matters that we've put forth to his office since last year, December. I know that there's an effort being made in that regard.
Edwards says members of BIMSU are prepared to continue their demonstrations until they get results. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Grand Bahama's traffic fatality toll now stands at 5 for the year. The latest victim, a 49-year-old woman, was killed in a car crash in East Grand Bahama this morning. Now, police have not yet released the woman's identity, but the fatal accident occurred a short distance just east of the College of the Bahamas campus. We spoke with the officer in charge of traffic, ASP Kenbert Taylor, at the scene.
The person who was driving the vehicle lost control of the vehicle and went on the northern side of the street where she encountered some pine trees. The vehicle overturned and the passenger was ejected from the vehicle. Officers responded to the traffic accident. She was unresponsive and she succumbed at the scene of the accident.
Now, police are continuing their investigations into the fatal accident, but preliminary reports suggest that speed may have contributed to the fatal accident.
It is believed that she is working in the east, and we believe that speed was a factor in this accident also. We'd like to also use this opportunity to sensitize members of the public to drive with care and attention. Drive utilizing your seatbelts. That's imperative. Also, refrain from utilizing your cell phone or texting while driving. Any distraction while your vehicle is moving at a high rate of speed can result in what took place here today.
Well, a 39-year-old man who was injured in a traffic mishap late last month has succumbed to his injuries. The resident of Seagrape 8 Mile Rock was driving a maroon 2001 Chevy Lumina in the area of Bahama Rock on the Warren J. Laverty Highway around 10:30 p.m. on February 28th when he reportedly lost control and crashed into a utility pole. He died in hospital on Saturday evening. Police are continuing investigations into this matter as well. Well, stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.